What's up, friends? Happy Friday. Welcome into another edition of Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Daniel Courtwright here with Tyler Brewer and Elijah Schmidt running the operations behind the camera. Sean Kellerman's going to be back on Monday. It's been a fun week following JHX Hoops in the basketball tournament. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit in the opening segment. Also some KU basketball news as well regarding late night, a couple of exhibition games as well. Interesting stuff coming out of KU basketball as late night is going to be coinciding with an exhibition game. So I'll break that down here in the opening segment as well as some JHX Hoops talk. Speaking of JHX Hoops, in the second segment, I actually got a interview with Sherron Collins after their meet and greet over at Prime Martial Arts yesterday. A great turnout from Kansas Nation, Jayhawk Nation. Really impressive stuff going out to Prime Martial Arts to go and meet all the guys, you know. Really, really cool stuff. Obviously, and all the guys were super friendly, signing autographs, taking pictures, and, you know, all these different kinds of things. So that was a lot of fun to see, and I got a chance to talk to Sherron afterwards as well. I actually told Sherron that, like, you know, I'm a media member. Obviously, I'm a KU fan, but I'm also a media member. So, you know, you have to have a sort of a sense of professionalism a little bit. But I went up to Sherron afterwards. I was like, look, man, like, I'm like, you're my GOAT. Like, I kind of had to fanboy a little bit. It wasn't on camera, but it was afterwards. I said, like, dude, I went as you for Halloween, like 2 years in a row. So, you know, Sherron, just the absolute best guy, you know, you can ask for, and obviously a great head coach. He's the head coach of JHX Hoops. So talk to him a little bit about that. After we hear from Sherron Collins, going to be hearing from the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, Brian Hanni, going to be talking all things KU baseball, as talking a little bit about some of the guys drafted, just the season in general, and he has a great story about Augusto Mungarieta meeting his childhood hero in Salvador Perez. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk with BH about. Haney hasn't been on the show for a while, so it's great to catch up with BH, man. Also, always a great time to have him here at the Kansas Nation Studios. After that, ding, 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 ding. It's the sports stock market. Got some stuff on here for you. LeBron James, he's going somewhere to the Northeast. If you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, this came out earlier today. 76ers. So I'll break that down a little bit as well. Got some baseball stuff. NCAA's on here twice, so I'll kind of break down what's going on there. After Sports Stock Market, going to be talking to Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star, talking all things KU basketball, KU football, different things like that. So big shout out to Shreyas. He comes on the show every Friday. And then going to close it out talking Chiefs opponent outlook, as after the LA Chargers, the Chiefs take on the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, in a Kenneth Walker revenge game. So really exciting week. What is that? It'll be week 6 technically, because I think I guess it'll be week 7, but game 6 for the Kansas City Chiefs because of the bye week in week 4. So break down the Seattle Seahawks, see if they're actually the real deal and if they can repeat or if the Chiefs will clip them in this one. First, want to tell you about Custom Lawn and Landscape. Spring and summer are made for backyard fun. If you're like me, you got kids running through the grass. I don't have kids running through the grass. Sean has kids running through the grass. I have dogs running through the grass, chasing tennis balls. Family cookouts past sunset. Nothing ruins time outside faster than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. And that is why families can trust Custom Lawn and Landscape to help keep their lawns beautiful and protected all season long. Their home insect control program, it helps defend your yard from those pesky bugs so your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. Right now, when you sign up, first application, it's free. I said it. That's right. It's free. Your first application when you sign up for the season is a simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your free first application with a seasonal insect control program. Custom Lawn and Landscape, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Hey, wanted to get to this before talking about JHX Hoops. Late Night in the Phog was announced for this upcoming year. It's actually first time this is happening, going to be coinciding with an exhibition game against Pittsburgh State. That's going to be Friday, October 16th, and they're actually doing 2 different Late Night in the Phogs because the KU women's team are going to be doing their Late Night in the Phog on Thursday, October 29th against Washburn. Both exhibition games, the format for Late Night in the Phog, it's going to be shifted, but it's going to have the feel of the annual celebrations. It's going to be, they're going to have all the pregame stuff, all the player announcements. They're going to be playing the full Dream On video, which if you know anything about Sean and I, it's like my favorite thing in the world. Watching that Dream On video, especially the full 2.5, 3 minute version of the Dream On video is, just inject that into my veins. It's so great. Every time they play the Dream On video, I have to put my phone down and watch it because it's so electric every time. And Late Night of the Phog, they usually do an extended version of the Dream On video. So you'll have that pre-game stuff, halftime stuff, with contests in the between, half-court shots, different things like that, a bunch of giveaways, a lot of events, and also Just Foods is going to be there. So they're going to be collecting food items and a monetary donation. So when you go to Late Night at the Phog, be sure to bring some canned goods. What's the word I'm looking for? It's I don't know. What are canned goods? I don't know. Non-perishable items. That's what I was looking for. Non-perishable items. Bring that to Late Night of the Phog. It's going to be Friday, October 16th and Thursday, October 29th. So, yeah, it should be a ton of fun. Hawk Zone, inflatable games. There's going to be music and a bunch more stuff. Food trucks are going to be there as well. A variety of different sponsors. Interactive displays. A ton of great stuff. This is going to be interesting to see how this kind of works because, as you know, Late Night of the Phog, it's a inter-squad scrimmage, and this is the first time you really get to see the guys. But Late Night of the Phog, typically you don't see a true basketball game, right? You have the player intros, you have a fun dance that they all do, and fun videos. Last year they had Bill Self get into a time machine or whatever, and they had Darren Peterson dress up as Paul Pierce, and different things like that. They had Floyd Badunga dress up as Wilt Chamberlain. So, they're going to have all that different kind of stuff. I'll be interested to see. I doubt they're going to be doing a dance just because of the fact that they are going to be playing an exhibition game against Pittsburgh State. But also, it's going to be actual basketball, right? We're Late Night of the Phog. Years past, it hasn't been the best product in terms of basketball being played because it's been the inter-squad scrimmage, not a lot of defense being played. The guys are still trying to get their feet under them. But now you have an actual opponent coming in for Late Night in the Phog in Pittsburgh State. Yeah, it's Pitt State. Yeah, they're Division II, whatever. But this is still there's going to be a scout, and it's going to be a full game, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to see how this all kind of comes together. It's presented by Hy-Vee. So, yeah, like I said, Late Night in the Phog is always going to be so fun, and this is going to entice more people to go because it's going to be an actual basketball game. We're probably going to see, all of the guys out there on the court, but maybe we could see who the starting five is going to be for the first time, so we can kind of determine, and we don't have to keep talking about, is it going to be Cole Rosario, is it going to be Leroy Blyden, who's going to be at the 2 spot, who's going to be at the center position, all this different kind of stuff. And I don't know the timeline in terms of Christian Reeves' surgery, so I don't know if he'll be back for that, but you're probably going to see Paul Mbia, probably going to see a number of different guys, kind of rotating in and out just because it is going to be Pitt State. So, yeah, I think it'll be a ton of fun. And on the flip side of that, also, KU has another exhibition game, and they announced the date for that. It's going to be October 21st. That's going to be a Wednesday. Louisville, they're coming into Allen Fieldhouse. Floyd Badunga comes back in a revenge game. Revenge exhibition game, but still a revenge game nonetheless. That's going to be a ton of fun. I do like Pat Kelsey as a coach, as much as it pains me to say this, but that'll be interesting. I think you should go to this game and boo the hell out of Floyd Badunga. That's what you should do. That's just what should happen, right? Nothing of malice, but you should let him know, hey, we know what you did. You left for the good side to go chase a bag. You got his money. That's fine. But they also got a 5-star, 7-foot center who's going to be a freshman this year. That will be very funny if Floyd Badunga does not start for Louisville. Incredibly funny. Again, he's a millionaire, so he gets money. But also, whenever you become a millionaire in that kind of thing, you also deserve criticism as well because I'm going to look at you as a professional athlete, right? You're no longer a kid anymore. You're getting paid to play the game of basketball. If you get recruited over and benched, I'm going to laugh at you. It's going to be very funny. Women's side as well, they're going to be playing in an exhibition game against Northeastern State on Thursday, October 22nd. So actually late night in the Phog for the women's game is going to be the second exhibition that they have on Thursday, October 29th. But their first exhibition game is going to be Thursday, October 22nd, so a week before, against Northeastern State. Shout out Northeastern State, by the way, the Riverhawks, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. That was the football team that I played against, where I got my most meaningful playing time on September 5th, 2019, where I played in 3 meaningful snaps. 2 of them were victory formation. Should be a ton of fun to watch this women's team as well, because you have a ton of returners who are going to be these impact players, right? With Samaya Nichols, obviously, coming back, getting a ton of WNBA buzz. We actually had Samaya on the show last week, and it was a great interview. Shout out to Doug Self for setting that up. Really exciting stuff. You also have Jalea coming back, who's going to take a big step up in year 2. Sydney Bryant is going to be a freshman playing that center position, coming in for the Lilymeister. 5-star McDonald's All-American, also going to be playing volleyball here at Kansas. So I'll be interested to see kind of how that works out, because there's some significant overlap with those 2 seasons. So we're probably going to see her for both of these games, but it'll be, again, just be interesting to see kind of how that whole thing will shake out. But again, you have Mariah Noel coming in as a transfer. You have Libby Fandel coming back, Reagan Williams coming back. A ton of talented women's basketball players, and this is going to be your first time to see them this coming year. And I think this is the year, man. Like, it's Samaya's senior year, technically. I guess she will technically get another year because of the new 5-and-5 rule, but she's probably going to get drafted in the WNBA, so we'll certainly see about that. So this could be the last time that you're able to see Samaya Nichols. Julia Davis, like I said, is only going to get better. Sydney Bryant, only going to get better, and she's already really damn good, just hasn't played in a Kansas jersey yet. This team, I'm really excited about it for this women's team. This has NCAA tournament written all over it. This has Sweet 16, Elite 8 written all over it, man, because this is going to be the year that they do it. They have the talent to be able to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, and I think Brandon knows this. I think Coach Brandon is well aware that, hey, this, like, it's this year, man. We have to do it because of how much talent that they have. You look at the freshmen that they have. Molly Ernstis is a really nice player. Brooklyn Wren is going to be really nice at that front court spot. So yeah, again, it's going to be a ton of fun. So that's Thursday, October 22nd for the women's team, Northeastern State, and then late night for the women's team is going to be Thursday, October 29th against Washburn. Late night for the men's side of things, Friday, October 16th against Pittsburgh State, and then Wednesday, October 21st in Allen Fieldhouse for KU against Louisville. Like I said, should be a great event for all of these. And also Pitt State, their head coach, Jeff Boschee. I don't know if you knew that, but Jeff Boschee is the head basketball coach for Pittsburgh State. Last year, KU actually wound up beating Louisville 90-82 on October 24th, 2025. That was the first of the home-and-home for the exhibition series. So Louisville, like I said, comes back. And whenever you see Floyd Badun going on that court, man, you got to let him hear it. Got to let him hear it. Say, hey, man, you left us. You left us to go chase a bag. If you even get a chance to get on the court because they have that 5-star 7-footer freshman coming in, you absolutely have to let him hear it. So it'll be interesting to see how Floyd Badunga's return to Kansas will kind of play out. I really hope. I really wish that Bryson Tiller also got to play in Allen Fieldhouse one more time. That one's going to be at T-Mobile Center this year. So we'll see about that. Hey, going to talk a little Jayhawks hoops as they're playing tonight against Purple Rain. You are going to have Billy Preston back, which is going to be great to, obviously have Billy Preston, because they put out the Big Three. He was playing for the LA Riot for the Big Three. Then they put out a post saying that Billy Preston was waived, and I thought that was kind of a jerk move. Like, they're like, oh, he's playing in TBT, so they wind up waiving him. So Billy Preston, he was planning on flying out to LA and playing in that, but now he's going to be back, which is going to be big time, because you saw what he did first couple of games. First game came off the bench at 15 points. Really was the best player for Jayhawks hoops. Most efficient shooter, one of the best rebounders that he had. And then he wound up being a starter. Game 2, 18 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double for Billy Preston. And he winds up hitting the shot to go ahead 82-80 when the Elam Endings target score was 83. So that'll be big time. Billy Preston is a lot of fun to watch play basketball. And again, this is something that we heard from Sherron yesterday. in the post game, where like he's been waiting for this. Sherron Collins said that Billy Preston has been waiting for this because he never really got to play in a Kansas jersey. So this is great for him to be able to come out and say, hey, look, I'm wearing the crimson and blue. I'm playing in front of KU fans in Bramlage. Like, this is his chance to shine. Frank Mason obviously turned it on in Game 2, whereas Game 1, 7 turnovers, 3 for 11 from the field. Not a great performance. All of a sudden, Frank comes out Game 2, hits the game winner, and just was awesome down the stretch. Zeke Mayo, by the way, those threes are starting to fall for him. Hopefully he can get off to a hotter start than he did the first couple of games, and I think you're seeing that from Zeke Mayo. Hopefully, obviously, he gets picked up by the Atlanta Hawks or one of these NBA teams. But as of right now, Zeke Mayo, I hope he's playing for TBT for JHX Hoops as long as possible. Enchantment, by the way, wound up beating Aftershocks yesterday. So Enchantment and Aftershocks are going to be playing in their Game 3, and JHX Hoops is going to get the winner of Aftershocks versus Enchantment. So that's going to be a ton of fun. So be on the lookout for that. Be sure to watch that game. So JHX Hoops and Purple Rain, they're playing at 6 o'clock, and then Aftershocks and Enchantment are playing at 8 o'clock out in Charles Cook Arena, I believe. So be sure to keep your eye on that just to see who potentially the winner of. Hopefully it's JHX Hoops, but the winner of this game is going to take on the winner of that series as well. It should be a ton of fun. Like I said, it's been great covering the basketball tournament this entire time. Just so much fun being able to, see these guys back out there. I said it yesterday. I put out a clip of it yesterday saying, like, it's really cool. It's one of those soak it in kind of moments where you're seeing Mario Chalmers and Frank Mason out there on the floor together, and all these different eras of KU basketball meshing together and going towards one goal, which is getting that $2 million prize for the basketball tournament. And you started to see it kind of come together. And I think Sherron Collins and Tyshawn Taylor are fantastic coaches. I think you can certainly see it. By the way, shout out to Tyshawn. Got a job as an assistant coach at IMG Academy. That's really cool. So he's going to be moving out to Florida. But while he's here, he's coaching this TBT team as an assistant coach. And I talked to Tyshawn after the second game at Lee Arena. We heard it yesterday. Said he watched the film 3 times. They went back. They discussed different things, found different holes. And you could see it, the fact that they were able to exploit that and play better team basketball, right? That's a coaching adjustment. So when you look at Sherron, when you look at Tyshawn Taylor, both these guys have long, illustrious coaching careers ahead of them. I truly, truly believe that. And they certainly made those adjustments. And you saw it right away with JHX Hoops. They were down by a lot going into halftime. I think they were down 14 or maybe they were down 12 or whatever it was going into halftime. And then second half made some even halftime adjustments, and they wind up winning the game out in the arena. Game 2 to send it to a winner-take-all. Game 3 out in Bramlage. If you're in the area, I understand it was rainy today, but I urge you to go out to Bramlage. I know you don't want to go out to Manhattan. I don't want to go out to Manhattan either. It's stinky. It's gross. Everything sucks about it, right? But you get to see Mario Chalmers and Frank Mason and Jamari Traylor and Zeke Mayo. You get to see these guys play basketball again. They need your support. The first game out in Bramlage, 90% K-State fans. It was loud. It felt like a true home game for Purple Rain. Yeah, so you need to go out there and support these guys because they're putting in their all, they're volunteering their time, and it has been a ton of fun to watch and kind of follow along, and I'm trying to give you guys the best content possible in regards to TBT because I know you guys are starved for it. I'm starved for it, man. I'm starved for basketball. Basketball's over, in April and obviously June, whenever the finals gets over. So this is the only basketball going on right now, and you see some Jayhawks of old. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Hey, after this, speaking of Jayhawks Hoops, going to be hearing from Jayhawks Hoops head coach Sherron Collins. He was at the meet and greet, Jayhawks Hoops meet and greet at Prime Martial Arts yesterday. So I got a chance to talk to Sherron, man. It was a really great interview. So let's hear that after we kick it to break on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.
What's up, everybody? Dan Peterson. Everybody go check out KansasNation.com.
Celebrate the summer with savings at Crown Toyota. BZ models, 0% APR with a $500 cash incentive. RAV4 models, 4.99% APR. 2026 Toyota Tacoma, 3.99% APR. Get into a 2026 Tundra for 2.99% APR.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
You work hard and play hard. With a new Can-Am side-by-side from Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment, you can haul, tow, and hustle from dusk to dawn without slowing down a bit. Get one for a lot less during the Can-Am Fresh Deals for Summer event, going on now through July 31st. Save up to $1,500 on select 2026 Can-Am Defender models. Hard-working, low maintenance, and built to take a beating. And the prices are hard to beat right now at Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Hey, at Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment, they're outdoor enthusiasts. They're excited to help you experience the fun and adventure that quality lawn and garden and outdoor power equipment can provide into your life. They're a outdoor power equipment dealership that's serving the Lawrence and Valley Falls area. Best in new and pre-owned Ferris, Hustler, and Country Clipper lawnmowers, Mahindra tractors and implements, Arctic ATVs and UTVs, steel handhelds, and Billy Goat specialty turf products. Check out Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment here in Lawrence or Valley Falls, or go to HeinenOPE.com. That's HeinenOPE.com. Hey, I got a chance to talk to Sherron Collins yesterday, head coach for JHX Hoops. Really awesome guy, just the best dude in the world. So let's go ahead and hear that as I talk to Sherron at the Prime Martial Arts meet and greet. Hey guys, what's going on? Daniel Courtwright here with Kansas Nation. I'm here with JHX Hoops head coach Sherron Collins here at Prime Martial Arts at the JHX Hoops meet and greet. Man, what a great event, and a little bit of a break after 2 tough days, but you guys got the dub yesterday. Walk me through that, man. That was so exciting. See Frank get back out there.
Frank woke up late, which we needed him to. But we had so many. Zeke hit some big shots, and it was a team effort. But we got down. I think we just got to stop getting behind early. We play them well. We defend them well. We just got to put more stops together. But, I mean, to come back how we did, down 10 in the Elam, it showed that we can win when we play bad, and we ain't played our best yet. So tomorrow I'm hopeful for that. Yeah.
And going into that Elam ending, obviously, I mean, you get together with the team in the huddle. What's the message to those guys?
Keep fighting. No, believe. We can do it. Just we've done this before. And all of us have played under kind of that same umbrella. So the belief, and we believe in our defense because Coach Self is a defensive guy. So, you know, we just got to get stops, and we put them together. And we believe, man, and Frank and Bill and those guys, even Zeke hit a big shot. They willed it. They just willed. They had the will to win, and that's just showing that Kansas grit.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you this. I asked Zeke Mayo about this. I asked him to compare your coaching style with Bill Self. Is there anything that you've maybe taken from your time at Kansas from Bill Self and kind of implemented in your own? I mean, obviously doing JHX Hoops, but, you know, you got your high school stuff going as well.
Absolutely. I do boot camp. We do somewhat of a late night as well. So I take so much from him, man. When you were able to be blessed to play for a coach like that, and, you know, I was a high-level player under him, you learn so much high-level things from him, and it always don't show up in the stat books, but, you know, it's the saying, the way, you know, he encourages guys. I think that rubbed off on me. He's a great relationship builder, and I take pride in that because I think that's what I do at best is build relationships, and kids trust me. I think I take a lot from him, man. I use the same sayings to this day. So I was glad that they posted that when he said, if a team can't score on you, they can't win. Yeah. I know all last 3 years of my boys are like, oh, my God. So it's true. I say Coach Self say this all the time, so it was good to see him say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what can we see out of JHX Hoops at Bramlage tomorrow?
Just a dogfight. We're going to be ready. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to come out. We're going to guard them better. That's the thing. We just got to start better. we can't be a second-half team and let them, get going. So we'll start better. We'll be more aggressive and take care of the ball.
Absolutely. Sherron, thanks so much, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
That was my conversation with Sherron Collins as he was at the JHX Hoops meet and greet over at Prime Martial Arts. Hey, you know the feeling. The field house gets loud. The chants start low, and the Jayhawks bring the energy. That's Lawrence. Ameritrust Credit Union thinks your money deserves that same feeling. A team in your corner that's pulling for you, win or lose, season after season. Financial well-being isn't just something that they offer. It's why Ameritrust exists. First car, first home, first business, whatever's next in your money story, they're right around the corner at 6th and Wakarusa in West Lawrence. It's real people making real decisions locally. Ameritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. You can stop by their branch or visit Ameritrust.org, federally insured by the NCUA. Hey, after this, we got Shreyas Laddha coming in from the Kansas City Star, talking all things KU football, basketball, and so much more. Coming up with Shreyas. That's on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, and KansasNation.com.
I'm Tyson LeBlanc, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Get 0.9% APR or a $3,500 customer bonus on 2026 Atlas models. 2026 Atlas Cross Sport 3.9% APR or $3,500 customer bonus. 26 Tiguan models now 1.9% APR or a $2,500 customer bonus.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
At the heart of a city lies the restless, the visionaries, the bold. You made the bet. You took the risk. You showed up when nobody else would. Now, success is within reach. The question is whether your finances can keep up with you. From redefining events to guiding local youth, providing lifelines of industry, or reshaping wellness across the region. You deserve a financial partner that matches your ambition. This is where Ameritrust comes in. Local people, real relationships. A team that sees your vision and says yes. Because bold business owners deserve bold financial partners. At Ameritrust, we handle the finances, so you can take care of the bold. Ameritrust Credit Union. Business, thinking, bold.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Got to tell you about Central Bank. With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card. It's a simple way to show school spirit every single day. Central Bank is proud to support their traditions and communities that bring people together. And as the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. You can learn more about Jayhawk checking and the exclusive Jayhawk debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. That's jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Right now, very pleased to be joined by the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Hanni. Brian, I know you had a really busy offseason going on right now, man, but wanted to start off here, talk a little KU baseball, because what an absolutely incredible run this was. You know, one of the best baseball seasons that we've seen. Honestly, I'll say this because I wasn't alive in 1949, but the best KU baseball season probably in school history, right? Yeah. And so many incredible players, such a fun ride, obviously hosting the first ever regional and super regional here at Lawrence. Just maybe recap that a little bit, and then I wanted to talk about some of the guys who were drafted as well, but take us through that whole ride, man, because how incredible was it? I mean, you know, coming in and you didn't really have super high expectations for this just because of all the roster turnover, but Dan Fitzgerald proves time and time again he's so good at building that chemistry and bringing these teams together.
He really is. His staff is really good too. And, it's interesting as you try to qualify what was the best season of all time, because 45 wins matches 1993.
Yeah.
1993 went to Omaha, but that was in an era when you were dealing with a 48-team field and there wasn't a super regional round. That doesn't take anything away from those guys.
Yeah.
You had 6 teams in that opening weekend, so in some regards it was tougher to get through. In other regards, you didn't have that second weekend to navigate that this Kansas team did. And obviously, as we all saw, they ran into a buzzsaw with Oklahoma.
The eventual national champion.
The national champs and the hottest team in the country just ran into them at the wrong time. But as you try to, nitpick who had the better season, obviously 93 going to the College World Series will forever have that number one footnote. But this club won 3 championships: regular season Big 12 championship, postseason Big 12 Conference Tournament Championship, just the 4th school in 3 decades of Big 12 baseball to back up the regular season title with the tournament title.
That's awesome.
And then they win the Lawrence Regional Championship, which is technically a championship. So that's 3 to their credit, and 3 big feathers in their cap that I think make this one of the greatest teams ever. And as you referenced, we hadn't won regular season conference titles around here going back to the 1940s. That's something that 1993 did not do. We'd not seen a conference tournament title in 20 years, back to 2006 with Rich Price and the big run they made in Bricktown with Beatty and Price and Ches and all those guys. So this was truly a season of first times ever and first times since. And so for that reason, they're absolutely one of the top 2 teams in KU history, certainly the best team in modern KU baseball history. Yeah. And it's weird as an old guy now at 46 years of age to consider anything after the mid-90s the modern era. I'm sure guys from the 1983 team are watching this saying, come on, we're still modern.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, first time in 33 years we've enjoyed any type of success like this. So give them their accolades and give Coach Fitz, the 2-time, 2 different media outlet Coach of the Year nationally.
Yeah, it's
and
incredible.
John Coyne, the National Assistant Coach of the Year. Give them their attaboys and accolades as well. But when you have team success like that, as we've seen particularly with KU men's basketball, it always leads to professional opportunity. And I think that's where we're headed next in terms of the drafts.
Yeah.
Opportunities that turned into draft placement and now professional opportunities for the likes of Dom Vagley, Tyson LeBlanc, obviously Brady Ballinger, who had a great 2-year run with us, and Matisse Nayrall. He was only here for less than a year, but he makes it with Toronto as well. So let's talk about those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna. That was a perfect segue right into it. Obviously, Tyson LeBlanc, the highest drafted ever Jayhawk at a position level, right? Dom Vagley, we knew how dominant he was throughout his entire career. Brady Ballinger, just talk about an all-time personality guy and the guy who really does have the stuff to make it to the next level. And Matisse Nayrall, to me, that's like an upside pick where you look at what he did against Cincinnati. If he's able to replicate that and do that at the pro level, that's going to be awesome. But just talk about those guys and how cool of an opportunity that this is.
Yeah, really excited for all of them. First off, for Tyson, second highest drafted Jayhawk ever. And as you said, the highest at a position other than a pitcher. Curtis Shaw, 1990, left-handed pitcher, technically our highest drafted Jayhawk ever. But, to go in the low 60s for Tyson LeBlanc, we're not used to seeing that around here.
Yeah.
And then Dom Vagley, the 3rd highest drafted Jayhawk ever and the highest drafted Jayhawk right-handed pitcher ever. So that's interesting. He goes to the Baltimore Orioles. Only pitcher in college baseball this past year to have not 1 but 2 15 strikeout performance, and he did it in a span of 3 weeks. It was incredible. I called him the Dominator from day one his freshman year, and he lived up to that nickname over the course of his next 2.5 seasons, and I hope that nickname makes its way into the bigs one day when he's pitching at Camden Yards, if he can keep this incredible ascent he's on. But, for Brady, it was not quite the same year in terms of production that he had as an All-American in 2025, but the tools are there.
Yeah.
All the intangibles are there. You can see why Detroit dipped twice into the Jayhawks bucket and talent pool, getting first Tyson LeBlanc and then Brady Ballinger. And I think they get Ballinger at a discount based on those numbers being a little bit down. He had, obviously, the hand injury that took away any power in the postseason for him, and it wasn't a season of great power numbers prior to that, but we saw what he's capable of last year. And I think that they get him at a discount that heading into the year, if you would have thought that he's going in the 6th, 7th round, you'd think, man, what a steal.
Yeah.
Because some were talking about, second or third for him. So really excited for that young man. I think he's got a really bright future in front of him. But Tyson LeBlanc is a legitimate prospect that we expect to see in the big leagues. When you're drafted that high, you expect to make it and have a nice, healthy career. And he's a guy who obviously rocketed upwards in terms of his ceiling and projectability in one season here at Kansas, once he had the resources at his disposal that Kansas puts forth in helping you not just scout opponent pitchers, but develop your swing, work on tiny little nuances to making you better on a daily basis. When you're at the JC level, and he played at a great JC at LSU Eunice, you don't always have all the resources that you get at the major conference level. Just imagine, the tutelage he'll continue to build off of now in the Tigers organization. And he's got the body, he's got the work ethic, he's got the intangibles. I'm really excited to one day own a Tyson LeBlanc Major League Baseball jersey. I've never done that with a Jayhawk baseball player in the bigs, and we've had several make it that are good friends of mine from covering him over the years.
Yeah.
I remember I got to follow Mike Zagurski when he broke through with the Phillies back in the day. We met up for beers out in San Diego one night when he was pitching on the road against the Padres. I've never bought a jersey of a Jayhawk in the bigs. I think Tyson might just be my first.
Sure. Hey, I think that'd be awesome, man.
Maybe I'll get a custom Orioles jersey with the Dominator on the back.
Oh, that would be sweet. I think that'd be a great one. You have him sign it too, man.
Yes.
That would look nice up on the wall, or even just wearing it around, man. You can wear that to the office.
Absolutely.
I think it's a button up, right? So it's technically formal.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever.
I like it.
I wanted to talk to you. I know you have a great story about Augusto Munguerieta. We'll get to that in a sec, but some new territory for Dan Fitzgerald as he's got some retention going on, right? I mean, this is kind of a new thing for Dan Fitzgerald because we always talk about the roster turnover and him meshing all these guys, but you have Dylan Schlotterback, Manning West, Bodie Ray, Cade Baldridge, Augusto Munguerieta. All these guys have come out on Twitter and said, hey, let's run it back. I mean, talk about Kansas and the retention of these players and how big that is for the future and the future success of Kansas.
Well, you named some great stars right there, and a couple that I'll add to that list that might just be your Friday and Saturday starters are Ryan Ritter and Mason Cook.
That's right,
Think about that 1-2 punch. That's really where championships begin is what's that weekend rotation look like. And so you bring back some continuity there. They're adding in some big-time arms they're fired up about. And I mentioned Ritter in a starting role because I think the expectation is he transitions into a starting pitching capacity for Kansas after being a high-leverage back into the ballgame reliever this year. But, yeah, Cade Baldridge, I thought, at the second base position and hitting in the top three of the lineup all year was one of the more underrated players in the Big 12 Conference. Sadly, he had an injury in the NCAA tournament that took him away from us in that Oklahoma Super Regional.
That's right.
And obviously one player absence a series does not make, but in this case, his absence was felt. I thought Dariel did a great job filling in at second as best he could, but we needed that additional offensive spark that he is, and he'll come back in an even more prominent role in the season ahead. And as you mentioned, Schlotterback, you hope, takes that next step. He did a lot of nice things on the hot corner for us this year.
Yeah.
Manning West, a trusted reliever that can eat up 3 innings in the middle of a game or, get you 3 big outs in a key spot. And I thought he really blossomed as a veteran pitcher you could trust in the biggest of spots. So a lot of talent to be excited about. But Augie, yes, let's talk about Augie, a guy who hit 17 homers. You talk about underrated. We played in a conference that had several big-time catchers, one of which could be the number 1 pick in the draft next year.
Yeah.
We played in the postseason against some much heralded and hyped catchers from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it always seemed like our guy didn't get his just due. He wasn't all Big 12.
It's crazy that nobody's talking about a 17 home run because you had Tyson who had 25, but 17 is still insane.
It's still a top 5 home run season in KU history, and in a different year, he's like Mr. Headline.
Yeah, absolutely.
On this team, there were some other guys that cast a pretty big shadow, and there were some other catchers in the national landscape that, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because of the junior college background that he came from, that he didn't get as much run. But to me, this is a guy that we're not talking enough about. He did make the All Big 12 tournament team, but when it came time to postseason awards, I just felt like he was slighted. Terrific young man. Teammates love him. I just think he has right now, he's shown us the tip of the iceberg, and there's another level he can tap into. And he had a chance last week to meet his childhood hero. We're going to tell that story now because I think it fits with where we're going with this conversation. in a year where he wasn't drafted. He saw some teammates drafted, got some feedback on what he needs to do to be even better next year in his final collegiate season. He then had a chance to get face-to-face and spend 15 quality minutes post-game with Salvador Perez, who he idolizes and has taken that same path from a guy in Venezuela, Valencia, Venezuela, that makes it all the way to the bigs. And now, in my opinion, as a 9-time All-Star, Royals record holder for home runs.
Yeah.
I think he's eventually a Hall of Famer in Cooperstown. He's had that kind of career. And he's on the all-humanitarian team for being an all-around good guy for reasons you can add to here in just a second when I tell the full story. But I think Salvi spending some time with Augie fuels the fire even more for Augie to have a big-time final season in the college ranks. I talked to my broadcast students, and you got a great one working for you, and Tyler Brewer here, that's, when you're heading into the summer before your final year on Mount Oriad at the J School, go get that great internship. Go make those networking connections, because this is your last chance to really hone your game to make that final year count.
Yeah.
Augie just had that by meeting his hero at Kauffman Stadium. So how did this story come together? And I'm going to give you the full-blown story because I think it's one of the great feel-good stories you'll hear. Augie, obviously, early in his Kansas career, started hitting home runs and making headlines, and I started to tell the story on our ESPN Plus broadcast that we've got this great Venezuelan catcher, the other Venezuelan catcher at the Kansas City metro area, and Colin Couch, who many Jayhawk fans know, the most loyal, the first guy you see when you get off the bus on game day for KU football, first guy you see when you run out the tunnel on game day for KU basketball. He and his dad are there for every Hawk Talk, football, basketball, baseball. He is, I think, the quintessential KU fan when it comes to dedication, relentless belief. No matter how the year's going, he thinks we're going to win the next game or we're going to win it by 50. And he pumps that positivity into the other guys. For folks that don't know Colin is nonverbal, and so he communicates, with hand gestures and all that. And he has also been a huge Royals fan over the years that makes it to a ton of Royals games. His sister Morgan works in the PR department and in promotions and that kind of thing, fan engagement, I should put it that way. And so he goes to a lot of games, and he knows Salvi well. He is so beloved by Salvi and every Royals player that he and his family are the only folks that get to hang out inside the secluded players-only parking lot at Kauffman Stadium. And so they dap him up before every game. They'll come over during BP and say hi and talk with Colin, and he's always communicating something. But on one particular day, after he started to get an idea of how good Augie was and started to hear us talking on the air about, man, we got to get these two Venezuelan catchers together, one day at a Royals game, Salvador comes over during BP. Hey, Colin, my man, how you doing? And Colin just starts pointing to the Jayhawk on his chest with just – vigor and Salvi, look at this Jayhawk. And Salvi's like, oh yeah, rock chalk. And Colin's dad, Dave Couch, then pulls out his phone and shows Salvi Augie's Instagram profile and all these home run calls and highlights of Augie, cranking homers at Hogan Ballpark. And then the three of them and Dylan, the brother of Colin Couch, starts to talk about how Salvi really needs to meet Augie. Well, as it turns out, they'd already met. When Augie was 9 years old, Salvi did a camp in Venezuela, and that's really where the dream was born to make it to the big leagues. And if you listen to Augie tell the story, and this isn't hyperbole, if you're from Venezuela, Salvador Perez is like Tom Brady or Michael Jordan.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Obviously, this is baseball's, the number one thing down there. It used to be number one up here. It used to be the national pastime. Now NFL ratings and sales would tell you they've got a rival. But in Venezuela, it's absolutely king. And if you have a guy who's not only a future Hall of Famer at the major league level, but is a Hall of Fame human being on a philanthropic give-back type level like Salvi, he is as beloved as any American sports icon you can think of. So they met when Augie was 9 and Salvi was 24, and Augie wanted to be the next Salvi. And so he's had other favorites. Obviously, he loves Maikel Garcia, the MVP of the World Baseball Classic. He's had favorites like Ronald Acuna. But when it comes to the total package, human being and player, it was always Salvi. So fast forward to Colin Couch pointing at the bird. Dave Couch saying, this is Augusto Mungarieta. Salvi says, I've seen enough. bring him to a game, however we got to set it up, get with Morgan. We're making this happen. He's going to be my guest at a Royals game later this summer. I want to meet the kid. So we set it up. We didn't know when we set it up it was K-State night at the K. But Augie and Salvi kind of stole the show on K-State night. Funny additional story I'll tell you on a different show about the first pitch, to the ceremonial first pitch, and the chance to see the future of K-State football, and a guy that I think is going to do a great job leading the team in Colin Klein, throw out that first pitch. He came up to me afterwards, and we had a brief exchange. I was wearing a Jayhawks shirt.
Oh, sure.
And he made a funny comment about that, but I think he's a good dude, and we're going to look forward to that rivalry being real good with Lance Leipold on our side and Coach Klein on theirs. But point is, Augie stole the show. They met during pregame BP. They got photos, but the postgame was amazing. They spent probably 15 minutes together in the parking lot. At one time, FaceTiming Augie's family back home in Venezuela.
That's awesome.
Salvi had his wife and his mom there. He had his son there, and it was just like family reuniting. Even though they'd only met twice ever, the love between two fellow countrymen, and Michael Garcia was the same way. He spent probably 5 or 6 minutes with Augie just chopping it up, talking about Venezuela, talking about how he needs to make his climb to the bigs like Kel and Salvi did. Couldn't have been nicer. And the story ends like this. We're driving home. Augie's on cloud 9. He just met his Tom Brady, and all of a sudden he gets a notification on his phone. Salvador Perez is now following you on Instagram.
Let's go.
And he starts pounding the dashboard. He's like, yes, this is amazing. Oh, my gosh, screenshotting it. And it was just so cool because, even KU athletes that are 21, 22 years old, we tend to put them on a pedestal and we forget the human element that in some regards, while they're young men technically, they're still young. And in some cases, they're still kids. And in this particular example, he met his idol. He met his hero. His hero was everything he could have hoped he would be in terms of gracious and welcoming and kind. They tell you not to meet your heroes because sometimes you get disappointed. If your hero is Salvador Perez, and I don't know what camera I'm supposed to look into here, if your hero is Salvador Perez, make sure you meet him because he's the absolute best you could possibly have as an ambassador for the Kansas City Royals. And in this case, he made Augusto Mungarietta's dreams come true, and I think propelled his Major League Baseball dreams all the more, and that's a pretty awesome story.
Man, that was an incredible story, and I'm so glad that you got to be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a cool thing for Augusto Mungarrieta, man. I want to talk KU football, but we got to end it there because that's such an awesome story to finish it on. But Brian, I appreciate your time, man. As always, thanks for telling that story because that's really cool. Fall camp right around the corner, man. But appreciate it. We'll let you get back to it.
I got too long-winded, but when you've been in my shoes doing this as long as I have, and you see behind the scenes the true good guys in sports, those are the stories you want to talk about. And Salvi isn't a good guy. Salvi is a great guy, a Hall of Fame, amazing humanitarian. So thank you for letting me get a little bit long-winded on that one.
No, you're good, man. Salvador Perez, great baseball player and even better philanthropist, I guess. That's the way you can put it. Brian Hanni, voice of the Jayhawks. Always appreciate your time, man.
Always appreciate you, buddy.
Hey, we got more Rock Chalk Sports on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com coming up after this.
Yo, this is Paul Pierce, and you're watching Kansas Nation.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Get 0.9% APR or a $3,500 customer bonus on 2026 Atlas models. 2026 Atlas Cross Sport 3.9% APR or $3,500 customer bonus. 26 Tiguan models now 1.9% APR or a $2,500 customer bonus.
Mowing doesn't have to be a pain. Ferris has your back with mowers built for unmatched comfort, durability, and quality of cut. This month feels like summer savings at Hanni Repair and Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment. Save up to $1,350 and get 0% financing with approved credit. Available on select Ferris zero-turn, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers. See them for details at Hanni Repair south of Valley Falls and Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
With Heinen, there's always hope for your yard.
Offers end July 31st.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com alongside Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star. Appreciate you coming in. Before we get to Shreyas, got to tell you about Custom Lawn and Landscape. Summer is made for backyard fun. If you're like me, you got dogs chasing tennis balls in that backyard. You got, gardening, different things like that. Nothing ruins time outside faster than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. And that's why families can trust Custom Lawn and Landscape to help keep their lawns beautiful and protected all season long. Their home insect control program helps defend your yard from those pesky bugs, so you and your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. Right now, when you sign up for the season, your first application is 100% free. That's right, Shreyas. I said it. The first application, 100% free when you sign up for the season. It's a simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer. You can visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your first free application with a seasonal insect control program. Custom Lawn and Landscape, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star. Appreciate you coming on, man. A lot of stuff to get into. First things first, just wanted to get your thoughts on this because me, growing up as a Kansas fan, I talked about this yesterday. I put out a clip on social media yesterday talking about how I just kind of had to soak it in at one point because watching the basketball tournament, Mario Chalmers, Frank Mason, like they're sharing the same court together. You have Sherron head coaching, Tyshawn is assistant coach. I mean, it's such a cool thing. But I guess from an outsider's perspective, I don't know how much you've been following it along, but, TBT, Frank Mason winds up hitting the game winner in the Elam ending. Just how cool is it to see some of these Jayhawks evolve? I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories about all these guys, like I said, kind of as an outsider, but just how cool is this event? And then, they're going on tonight out in Bramlage once again.
I think it's super cool, and guys that were supposed to be something but weren't something at Kansas are getting a chance to be something. Our sports intern, Latif, wrote this really good story about Billy Preston getting his moment. And I thought that was awesome because I was like, you know what? Like, Billy Preston had a weird, kind of Kansas career.
Yeah, he played in one exhibition game.
Yeah, and poor guy really never really got his chance to be a Kansas Jayhawk. And he got that chance, and he's the guy who was involved in that, game winner and all that other stuff. So I thought it was cool, man. Look, I'm not obviously a Kansas fan, but I can accept and appreciate greatness. And these guys were great college players. Some of them were okay college players, but getting to see different eras of a Kansas team all kind of play together is super cool. You see a guy like Zeke Mayo alongside Mario Chalmers, and you're like, whoa, that's insane.
I talked to Zeke about it after the game, and he was like, it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that he's sharing. He grew up in Lawrence.
100%.
Yeah, so it is a cool thing. And I love the fact that you brought up Billy Preston because he's probably the one that I feel the best for because he never got that opportunity. You know what I mean? And now you have these Kansas fans kind of behind his back, and he's been playing really well in the basketball tournament, man. It's been so much fun. Let's talk a little also former KU guys, but just talk about the NBA Summer League as it's officially wrapped up. Obviously, Darren played really, really well. Had some ups and downs a little bit, 9 fouls, some turnovers here and there.
I think he was doing Darren 9 fouls on purpose because he got 10, right? So he was trying to make sure he used
If you got him, use him. You know what I mean? So Darren obviously had a great Summer League, but I wanted to talk to you about Trey White, Melvin Council, Zeke Mayo, obviously, with the Atlanta Hawks. You also have Hunter Dickinson with the Pelicans. And, we knew what to expect out of Hunter Dickinson. He's still on that two-way, I think, with the Pelicans. But, just talk about those guys and the realistic possibility. You also have DeJuan Harris for the Iowa Timberwolves, now the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Summer League. Talk about those guys and, the realistic possibility because, Trey White in particular – talk about a perfect situation for him where there's not a lot of guard play out there in Miami and undrafted free agent. Hey, guess what? You got a 6'7" wing who can, shoot the rock a little bit. He's showing it.
Summer League. He averaged 16, 17 a game?
I think 17, yeah.
And he had about 7 rebounds. He was shooting about 39% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
He showed the things that you want to see from a guy like him. The biggest question about Trey White going into Summer League was, is the shooting in the past year at Kansas real or fake? It clearly looks like it's real to me. He was shooting the ball really well in Summer League. And, like, I mean, Miami has roster spots open. Like, it seems like he'd be a guy that'd be perfect for a two-way contract with them, you know, between the G League and the NBA. He'll get a decent amount of playing time just because they have the roster spots. They have the opportunities, and he played great. I was very impressed with Trey. I think he gave himself a real shot to at least get a contract that keeps him in the league for a little bit. I think Melvin wasn't bad. He was fine.
Yeah.
You know, like I think he had a solid Summer League, but I think, like I said, we've talked about this before. I know there's some rumors out there. Melvin Council may or may not return. I can say this much. Kansas desperately tried to, both sides tried earlier this year to get him back, and it was kind of a difficult proposition. I think that was before the rule change.
Sure.
Where the thought process was, like, can we bring him back or not? And basically, I was told a lot of fifth-year waivers and all those, like, this thing were being denied for 5th, 6th-year guys.
Right.
And now with the rule change, things are so different. And it changes.
Still a little
things.
murky, but he did still play 5 years.
Yes,
so.
yeah, 100%. I'm curious, Dan, this is kind of a little segue here. Do you want Melvin Council back?
I think that he would be, I think so. I think that having a guy like that in the locker room is going to prove to be very
you okay with
good.
Him having the keys over Taylor Kinney is my question.
No, I don't want him to have the keys necessarily, but I think in terms of experience, in terms of, like I said, being that locker room guy and being that hard worker, I think that's a guy that Tay Kinney and Tyron Stokes and Leroy Blyden and those guys can kind of look up to him and say, like, oh, this is how you're supposed to play. Because, like, he's the prototypical, like, you know, the good out of the transfer portal, where went JUCO 2 years, Wagner, St. Bonaventure, worked his way up, proved everybody wrong, and wound up coming to Kansas and having a pretty good career. I mean, shooting-wise, not great, but, like, he worked his butt off. You know what I mean? So, like, that, I think it would be a great addition. And plus, I mean, like I said, I think that rubs off on everybody else to have a guy like that. So, absolutely, I would take Melvin Council back. Now, does it take some minutes away from Leroy Blyden and Dennis Parker and Cole Rosario? Sure. Yeah, you can't take any.
That's my thing with whether he comes back or not, that aside. Obviously, I agree. I think you should want him back. My one kind of slight disclaimer is, like, do you want him starting? I don't know if I want Melvin Council starting over Taylor Kinney. Like, Taylor Kinney, if we think he is what we think he is, could be a first-round pick next year or even a lottery pick if he's as good as we think.
Right.
I think the minute you have Melvin Council starting, then you are in a little bit of a tough spot because, like, Melvin's not great off the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that with DP last year. Like, there's a reason why Melvin was the point guard and DP was, like, kind of a secondary ball handler, whatever. So, like, KU fans should want him back. Melvin Council's dog, you know, like, he's great for culture, great for the locker room. But I do think there's some level of, like, there should be some level of qualifications or disclaimers almost in a sense of bringing him back. I just think it's crazy that a guy who played Summer League has the opportunity to potentially come back.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm all for it. I think it would be incredible. But also, like, if you're going to play by the rules, which I think the NCAA needs to, or else it's going to become more of an embarrassment than it already is, I don't think he should be allowed to.
Yeah.
Again, I would be totally fine
100%.
in the world, but also, like, you have to follow the rules, and you want to lawyer up, you want to make everything murky and send it, you know, make this a lawyer game, whatever. That's fine. You know, that's over my head, sure. But also, it's going to make a mockery of the NCAA if he does wind up being able to come back. Also, KU does have kind of an embarrassment of riches at that spot. I mean, because we're constantly talking about, like, there's 3 legitimate guys who could all start at that 2 spot.
Jr. would have been a guy that would have started on some of the KU rosters.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
100% would have, like, at least considered, like, I think he would have started over Cole Rosario last year, honestly.
Yeah. He reminds me of, like, El Marco Jackson, but a better scorer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
But yes. Denver's, I mean, I really like. I'm very high. That's my horse that I am. This thing.
Okay, little dark horse.
Dark horse of, like, I think he's the X factor alongside Paul Embiid or Christian Reeves, starting center. Like,
sure. I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the Melvin Council thing, I don't know. I think I do it with disclaimers. I just don't know if that's super feasible because all these guys have egos, right? And it's a tough spot to be in, but See what happens.
Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens. Again, I think Melvin strikes me as the exception to that because of the fact that I think he loved his time here at Kansas, and he would be more than happy to come back. But again, he played in the summer league, so I just not saying that I don't want Melvin Council back, but I'm saying if that's the rule, I think the NCAA needs to rule with an iron fist. I hate the NCAA, hate them so much. They're a greedy organization, but if they want to fix college athletics, they need to rule with an iron fist like they used to, instead of being pushed around by lawyers constantly.
I respect you for throwing your bias aside for a second to bully the NCAA. I respect that.
Yeah. That's the first and only time I'll ever take the NCAA side over KU's side ever.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star joins the show. Shreyas, wanted to get your thoughts on another maybe target for KU basketball. It's been kind of floating around with Mihajlo Muzicic, obviously coming over from Serbia. A lot of links there, and you're hearing from a number of different people that he's already committed, but Henry Greenstein came out and said, hey, from his source, nothing at all has been done. He hasn't signed anything. He hasn't even verbally said that he's committed, but it's interesting to note because of the fact that you're running into another eligibility issue where the 5-year clock has expired for him, but he could still play under those new rules. But at the same time, it has to do with how many minutes, how much he's been paid to play in the summer league, or not summer league, in pro ball over in Serbia. Your thoughts on him, and maybe let's say in a world, hypothetically, if he was to join this Kansas squad, would he be an impact guy right away, or are you looking at him more of a rotational guy?
I think he'd be a rotational guy.
Okay.
I think, I don't think, I'd be a little surprised if he's.
Would you say ceiling or maybe floor,
maybe
Parker Brown?
I think he's definitely better than Parker Brown.
Sure, okay, yeah. But in terms of minutes.
Minutes, yeah, I think he'd probably have 20, 25 minutes a game.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm just not super high on the big rotation they have
sure,
right now.
Yeah.
I don't really think super highly of Christian Reeves. I'm higher in Paul Mbia than probably most people are, but still, I gotta see it.
Well, Nick Springer is the president of the Paul Mbia fan club, so you're not higher on him than he is.
Yeah, that's true. We've talked about this on Payheed, but I think Paul Mbia should be the starter if we think he is what he is. But going back to this guy, I mean, look, I have no idea what's going on. I've talked to a lot of different sources, and everyone I usually talk to is clammed up about it. They don't want to talk about it because it seems like there's a lot of moving parts from what I've gathered. I think, you have a source-off battle, and what Henry had heard, I think there are people in the Star that heard the same, that he hadn't signed. But I think that is not necessarily true.
Sure.
I think there's just they're trying to figure out the eligibility thing from what I've gathered from different sources.
Yeah. I mean, it could potentially just not matter.
Yeah. And I mean, remember, Bryce Desert had the same thing last year, right? He didn't end up coming over to KU. I think the way they've targeted overseas guys is kind of an interesting tactic. And look, I think he'd be a great addition to the team just because, imagine having somebody that good be the 14th guy on the roster.
Yeah.
Right? He's not the 14th actual guy on the roster, but the 14th addition they have. I think he's a guy that would probably, be the backup center and a guy that could play a little bit of 4 here and there. But I think it's just a nice depth piece. I would be a little surprised if he's unless Paul and Christian Reeves are just really bad.
Sure.
The bona fide starter.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star. Shreyas, let's flip it over to football as obviously fall camp. It's right around the corner, man. Yeah. I mean, it's like Christmas for me, man. You know how much I love fall camp. I love spring ball too. And I love spring ball, man.
You're excited.
Yeah, fall camp. I mean, football is almost here. Just I guess your thoughts in terms of what to you has been maybe the storyline of the offseason, aside from the quarterback battle, right? We've beat that horse so much. You get the London game, the quarterback battle, but what to you has been the most intriguing, offseason thing that you're going to want to maybe keep track of heading into fall camp?
I mean, kind of nobody knows how good this KU team is. Mm-hmm. They had 31 transfers they brought in. And it feels when you look at the betting sites, that number is 5.5.
Yeah.
And to me, that's such a tough number to predict if they're better or worse than.
Right.
Because I'm
they had 5 wins last year.
Yeah, they had 5 wins last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
But the year before that, they won 9.
Yeah.
And I just think, to me, the storyline is how good is the return of Andy Kotelnicki going to affect the offense? Because
Sure.
KU's offense really faltered the last few years without Andy. I think they're a little better than expected with Jeff Grimes, but they still weren't like as good as they were with Andy. And I'm like really intrigued to see if they can find a way of making it so, like, even if they are probably floor of 4 wins, does Andy bring them to 6 because he does the crazy stuff that Andy does? Because, like, I was looking at the schedule and, like, I was doing a 5 games to watch piece for Star for later in August. And, the 4 games, I had the 2 rivalry games, the London game. The 4th game was the Baylor game. And then the 5th game, I was like, what's the 5th game? Like, is it LIU or something like that? Like, because I was like, because I think Baylor, they've historically lost to. And that they have a 14-game losing streak. Beating this Baylor team, which is pretty mediocre in most people's eyes, would be huge. And that's probably what gets them, 1 win closer to bowl contention.
Right.
Because, like, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and, like, if the expectation is 5.5, like, that's the line, and it was, like, minus 160 on most, like, betting sites, I'm like, where does the 6 wins come from? You have the 2 gimmies.
Yeah.
Then you have UCF, I think. Then potentially Baylor.
That's 4.
And then I'm like,
I think
5 and 6.
I think people are overhyping Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
I think
so
obviously,
I mean,
really good head coach. Drew Messamaker's a very good quarterback, but still, and granted, you get them in the last game of the season, so that's enough time for them to mesh. But still, it's a lot of unknowns. I mean, they got virtually a whole new team,
even,
and
even though it's 5,
yeah.
and you're hoping they steal some off somebody like K-State or Missouri or whatever. Like, I'm candidly, guys, if you're a Kansas fan and they lose both rivalry games again, I'd be so mad. Like, they haven't been able to, like, win.
I'll be
against both of these
inconsolable.
teams. Like,
I might take that week off.
I mean, you should be. I mean, like, 18 straight losses to K-State. Come on, man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, they've got to figure out a way to beat one of those 2. I think if they can do that, I feel like that season's honestly kind of a success. Like, I feel a lot higher about that season if they win 5, but one of those 5 is K-State.
Yeah.
Or Missouri.
Right.
So for me, those are the biggest stories. Of like, how good is this KU team is, and can Andy Kotelnicki get to a point where, they are going to get 6 wins? I think, from what I've heard from sources, is like the transfers have looked better than expected. I think the defensive line and defense overall should be much improved because they're bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
But I've heard those things for the last 2 years. Like, I need to see it in action.
Sure.
Everyone has whatever buzzword they'll throw out in camp and be like, we're moving faster now. We're like not having to think as much.
Every team is Every team is the fastest and the healthiest they've ever been. Every team is ready to win a championship.
Yes.
Every team,
I think somebody asked me this in the mailbag, and they're like, if Lance doesn't get 6 wins, is he on the hot seat? I was like, I think it's a tough question to answer because, candidly, I think we're hitting a point of like, how many years does have Lance coaching?
Sure.
He's an older guy.
He's 63?
I think he's a little older than that.
Maybe, maybe he is.
He might be. I might have to look at his age. He might be 60. I don't know. But, like, I definitely do think there's some level of, like, they've invested $300 million in this stadium.
62.
Yeah, 62. They've invested $300 million in stadium renovations and then some.
Yeah.
And go 5-7 again. That's so disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. But also, they're not. I mean, they also built him a stadium. I mean, it wasn't. They didn't build him a stadium, but he's one of the main reasons.
Do you think he would not be in the hot seat? Like, I'm curious because, like, I answered that question. I was like, I think he would.
I think the only way that it happens is if you go under 3 wins. I think if you win 1, 2, or 0, then yes. I think 3 wins is about the cutoff because I think you still give them a little bit of leeway.
Well, there's no way they're gonna win at least. They'll win at least 2. They're playing LIU and.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like
that's why. That's why I'm saying like if they win less than 3.
If they win less than 3, he's fired. Like that's just. There's no hot seat. He's gone.
Sure.
Like, or mutual parting ways, whatever you want to call it. If they win less than 5, I think there's some level of like. The seed is kind of hot, man. Like pretty hot in my mind.
For sure.
I think there was some frustration this past year of like them starting 4-2 and then not making a bowl game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we'll certainly see. Like I said, I think that there's a sense of loyalty, and again, he is an older coach, and having the first new quarterback in his era, then I think you give him a little bit of leeway there.
Lance is a good coach.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you have to deliver on the things that you've been saying you're going to fix.
I think KU doesn't want to fall under this because when's the last time a head coach for KU football wasn't fired? I'll tell you, I think it was Don Fambro.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which back in the 80s or whatever that was. So I think they want to break the streak of every single head coach has been fired. So they'll just let him go retire on his own terms.
Mutual party ways or
whatever,
right? Like kind of like what they did with Brian Borland.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
mutual party ways.
Absolutely.
Retired. I think there was some level of like, okay, they need some fresh blood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that in the building. But like the thing to me right now is like with Lance, we've been hearing for 3 years now, like we can't lose one-score games. They're like 1 in 10 in the last 2 years in one-score games.
Yep,
like, that's
I know it.
If they were even like close to 500, or even if they're like 4 and whatever, you know, like they'd be so much better off, and they'd be in a bowl game in at least one of those.
But you look at some of those losses. I mean, you have Jalen Daniels throwing 3 red zone interceptions against Utah, right? You have the defense completely crumbling against Arizona. The defense completely crumbling against Cincinnati, right? I mean,
the UNLV fumble Brewski loss.
The UNLV fumble. I mean, yeah, like a lot of those, it's like some of those like just aren't even coaching. It's just like the players on the field weren't as good. You know,
I don't disagree, but why does it always happen with them? Like other
I know. Yeah, it's just unlucky.
Some level of like, there's some level of like they're not able to close.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Lance doing this whole thing of like we looked into things. Maybe these guys are tired. This and that. Like I think it's a very internal way of looking at things. Like I think it's really great that he's willing to accept like, okay, I'm not good at this.
Mm-hmm.
How can I fix this?
Right.
And I think Lance has never been shy of like admitting his mistakes, and I respect that most about him. But like, guys, like I don't know, man. If I was a Kansas fan and they go 5-7 again this year, I'd be a little disappointed. Like I don't, like obviously with quarterback play is going to be such this thing, but like
you want to make bowl games, you want to have winning seasons,
especially when you're investing $300 million in a stadium and renovation.
Right, absolutely. I had an interesting mailbag question that I've never done this before, but I did it yesterday and I'm doing it now because it was such a good. Shout out to KU Najee for asking this question.
Oh, he's a good guy for my mailbag.
Shout out, man. Yeah. Shout out to KU Najee. His question was, would you have rather seen a healthy Jalen Daniels for his entire career or a healthy Darren Peterson for his career?
I saw Henry's answer to this. I thought it was very interesting.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. How good is the healthy Jalen Daniels? I have no idea.
So
right? like
we talked about
a little bit, right?
So we talked about like if he would have been healthy in the spring of 24. Then going into the 24 season, you would.
You mean the 23 season, right? The one where that was the.
So I'm saying 24, he was dinged up in the spring, didn't play all spring.
That's true.
24, you come in, you're playing at Sporting and Arrowhead, you lose to UNLV. He has a tough start. I think he has a better start, and then Kansas goes to a bowl game, and then also in 25. Well, I guess he was healthy in 25. 20. Let's see. So it would have been
23 is the one where 23 was the year
23 is the year where they 23 is the back issue and Jason Bean.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I think you go to 3 straight bowl games, and I think
is that better than full healthy season of Darren Peterson?
So that's the thing. Like we talk about Darren,
I think I'm
Big 12 Player of the Year, All American. Like
I think
how
I'm
far
on the opposite end of Henry on the spectrum over. Like I think I would absolutely take Darren Peterson.
Sure.
Like we saw some really amazing things.
But then you don't have Melvin and Trey probably be the breakout guys that they are.
Probably, but I also don't think they were really anything when it mattered, right? Like
sure.
Like those, like this is Kansas guys. We care about watching teams in the tournament. I don't really care about regular season stats.
Sure.
Like I'm not a Kansas
Darren
fan,
was fully healthy
but,
though in the tournament.
But he wasn't fully healthy.
In the tournament?
His camp even told me that he was never fully healthy. Like I could see it too. Like he was just playing through all the stuff he had.
Right.
He was just. His conditioning was bad. He was just not ready.
Yeah.
I think I would take Darren Peterson fully healthy. I think Darren Peterson is going to be a top 15 NBA player in his prime.
Okay.
Top 10 NBA player.
Oof. I certainly hope so.
And maybe I'm hitching the wagon on it a little bit too much, but I think Darren Peterson fully healthy, All-American, Big 12 Player of the Year, all that stuff. They probably make it out of at least first weekend.
Yeah.
They almost made it out of the first weekend with Darren Peterson not playing great.
I mean, St. John's. I mean, that's just heartbreaking
for everybody.
But they probably have a better seed line.
Yes. And
so they don't have to go up against St. John's.
But last year's team was absolutely flawed in some sense. They didn't have enough shooting outside of Darren. And I know Henry and me have this discussion topic off it because he was like, no, but they had. I'm like, no. Trey White was a great shooter. Melvin Council's 3-point shooting was a lot better than what appeared on paper. And they still ended up with 31% from three because of 8 threes he made against. Take away that, he's almost shooting like 26%. And like Cole Rosario never really shot the ball as expected. I think, but Darren Peterson would have carried them at least to a Sweet 16, I think, if he was fully healthy.
Okay. I'll buy that. Last thing before I let you go, your thoughts on LeBron James joining with your boy, Jaylen Brown, over there in the 76ers.
I'm not going to lie with you. I was a little disappointed because I was like, man, this looks means Philly is actually good. And
I wanted to see him on the Warriors.
Yeah, I wanted the unction.
The unction,
man. I wanted Steph. I wanted LeBron. I wanted Al Horford. I wanted Jimmy Butler. I wanted Draymond. I wanted all of them together. Like, they probably not have won a single thing, but like, it would have been really fun watching Steph play with LeBron.
So much
like
fun.
It would be like the Olympics all over again.
Yeah.
Draymond doing whatever he needs to do for his king.
Yeah,
it would have been very fun.
I love the picture of them dancing at that wedding.
That is my favorite meme. It's like, and there's like the promiscuous girl plays in the background.
Yeah, that's so good.
Unfortunately, Philly looks like a real threat to make it out of the conference finals. Somebody was telling me, was like, wow, I can't believe LeBron James joined the Sixers before Embiid made those conference finals. I can't make those jokes anymore. I think they're going to make the conference finals.
Yeah.
But I think whether they win a title or not is going to be heavily dependent on whether Joel Embiid is healthy. If Joel Embiid is not healthy, which he rarely ever is, they're not going to win the title. If he is healthy, they have a really good shot, I think. But
that team is built to have a LeBron James on it. Though. I mean, you talk Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, right?
Jaylen Brown
Joel
wanted to be
Embiid.
first option hoops. He's about to be third or fourth option hoops.
I know.
It's
It's kind of crazy, man.
I was like,
it's kind of
poor
crazy.
guy.
Yeah, but he gets to play with LeBron James, so that's. I'm sure he's like, all right.
100%. Yeah, I get it.
It's weird that he signed a 2-year deal, though.
I think. Well, I think this is his last. He probably was just like, I'll have 2 more years, give it up. After that.
Why not?
Only $4 million each was crazy.
I know,
He was making $4 million a year, $4 million a month in LA. Which is
he doesn't need the money. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
So he's.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Shout out to him for taking a pay cut. I mean, that's okay.
You wanted ring 5. I get it.
Sure.
Everyone's chasing Mike. We get it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Man. Shout out to LeBron James, man. The Philadelphia 76ers. I'm excited to see how the Philly fan base will treat.
Oh, me too.
LeBron
I
James.
can't wait to see.
Because they hate him.
Yes.
But now you're like,
they hated Jaylen Brown too, and now they have to like reverse course.
Yeah. I've always loved them.
Like,
yeah.
I've never said Jaylen Brown didn't have a left hand. He has a great left hand. He can finish. He doesn't have turnovers.
Hard pivot. Hard 180.
Paul George actually sucks.
Oh man. Well, Shreyas, I appreciate your time, man. As always, every Friday. Any big stories you're working on right now?
I'm supposed to sit down with Travis Goff next week to talk about a variety of different topics. So that'll probably be somewhere late next week.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. We'll be sure to be on the lookout at kansascity.com, I believe. Shreyas, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, more Rock Chalk Sports coming up after this on ESPN Kansas City and kansasnation.com.
I'm Keith Langford, and you're watching kansasnation.com.
Celebrate the summer with savings at Crown Toyota. BZ models, 0% APR with a $500 cash incentive. RAV4 models, 4.99% APR. 2026 Toyota Tacoma, 3.99% APR. Get into a 2026 Tundra for 2.99% APR.
We've got Mahindra, the #1 selling farm tractor in the world.
And we've got Mahindra Red, White, and Blue summer savings at Hanni Repair and Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment. Get 0% financing for up to 84 months with approved credit. Plus, $2,000 cash back on select Mahindra models. Get your tough, dependable, value-packed Mahindra tractor for less while the Red, White, and Blue summer savings last at Hanni Repair, south of Valley Falls, and Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
With Heinen, there's always hope for your yard.
At the heart of a city lies the restless, the visionaries, the bold. You made the bet. You took the risk. You showed up when nobody else would. Now, success is within reach. The question is whether your finances can keep up with you. From redefining events to guiding local youth, providing lifelines of industry, or reshaping wellness across the region. You deserve a financial partner that matches your ambition. This is where Merit Trust comes in. Local people, real relationships. A team that sees your vision and says yes. Because bold business owners deserve bold financial partners. At Merit Trust, we handle the finances, so you can take care of the bold. Ameritrust Credit Union. Business, thinking, bold.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Daniel Courtwright, Elijah Schmidt, Tyler Brewer behind the camera. Big shout out to Brian Hanni and Shreyas Laddha for coming in studio, talking some shop with me. Hey, got to tell you about Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment. And Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment, they are outdoor enthusiasts. They're excited to help you experience the fun and adventure that quality lawn and garden and outdoor power equipment can bring into your life. They're an outdoor power equipment dealership serving the Lawrence area, offering the best in new and pre-owned Ferris Hustler and Country Clipper mowers, Mahindra tractor and implements, and Arctic Cat ATVs and UTVs, and steel handhelds and Billy Goat specialty turf products. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales, financing, service, and parts department are ready to offer outstanding service every step of the way, from assisting while you're deciding what equipment best suits your needs to ongoing maintenance and customization. They're ready to serve you at Hanni Outdoor Power Equipment. They value the opportunity to build a long-term relationship with their customers and do that by making sure that they exceed your expectations. Go to HeinenOPE.com. That's HeinenOPE.com to learn more. Ding, 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 ding. It's time for the sports stock market. Let's start here. I talked to Shreyas about this last segment. I was thinking about opening up the show with this, honestly, because it's the biggest news that's happening right now. LeBron James, stock is up on the 76ers. Philadelphia sports. Yeah, why do good things happen to bad people? The Philadelphia sports fans are just they're the worst. They're the worst people in the entire world. And LeBron James is now heading over to Philly. Signs a 2-year, which is interesting, 2-year, $8 million deal, so $4 million a year. Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, he told ESPN's Shams Charania that he made $53 million with LA last year. And again, LeBron James doesn't really need the money, so you kind of knew he was going to take a little bit of a pay cut wherever he wound up going. And I'm a little frustrated with Mario Chalmers because Mario, I asked him after game 1 of the basketball tournament, I said, hey, where's LeBron going? He said, Miami. And then all of a sudden the betting line started changing. Thank God I did not put money on it. I didn't. I know it. I should have. But thank you. Thank goodness that I didn't have any money in my DraftKings account because I would have put some money on him going to Miami. Because I thought, hey, Mario Chalmers knows what he's talking about. He played many years with LeBron James. They're boys. Turns out he's going to the Philadelphia 76ers. Said that, so I'll read this LeBron James tweet because LeBron James put out a long tweet talking about his decision. It came out that I guess Adam Silver was pressuring LeBron James to make a decision way quicker, but LeBron just didn't want to make a decision yet. So LeBron James put out this tweet. He said, I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide. But I was pretty sure I played my last game. Good on LeBron James for thinking that, hey, maybe this could be my last year, and maybe it was my last game ever, and not going on a Coach K retirement tour. But now it turns out he probably is going to go on one of those Coach K retirement tours. He said, I was honest that at my last press conference, I said that I needed to look at myself and decided if I still love this game. I still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have been really special. I've never been able to have no clue what to do and take real time just to think. I've had an incredible few months with all the people I love trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete. To win, to have a chance at that feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the 76ers a championship team, and I'm excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Thank you, Miami. I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home. So LeBron James officially going to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is just going to be so weird to see him in a Philly jersey in that black, red, and blue or whatever. It's going to be strange to see LeBron with any kind of blue on his jersey for me. It's just, it is going to be, I guess technically the Cavs were navy blue back in the day, but it's still, it is interesting. But the 76ers, I was talking about this with Shreyas, the 76ers, they're built kind of perfectly to have LeBron James on this roster, right? I mean, you look at the roster that they have. Joel Embiid, obviously one of the best centers in the league whenever he's healthy, right? They have Jaylen Brown, who is a really nice guard. He wanted to be sort of that number one option, and Shreyas kind of talked about it. He said, well, I don't know if Jaylen Brown's really going to be the number one option anymore. Tyrese Maxey, again, fantastic guard, and then VJ Edgecombe. I mean, that's your starting five right there when you look at this roster. Now, do they need to maybe beef up their depth a little bit? Probably, because LeBron James is not going to be playing 48 minutes a game or whatever it is, right? That's just not going to be the case because he's going to be 43 years old and, you know, all this different kind of stuff. They have some okay depth pieces, right? Janai Broome is fine. They did just acquire Dean Wade. And, you know, I hate to give credit where credit is due, but Dean Wade is an all right player. I mean, he, you know, played a lot for the Cavs over the last few years. So that'd be interesting to see. I mean, Dominic Barlow, you know, interesting. Trendon Watford. But again, when you look at the starting five just in general, with Joel Embiid, former MVP. You have Jaylen Brown, former Finals MVP. Tyrese Maxey, you know, all-star caliber guy, really kind of emerged as one of the best guards. And, you know, he was a little dinged up, I think it was 2 years ago or whatever. But Tyrese Maxey still is a very serviceable guard and one of those facilitators that you just love to watch play basketball. And then VJ Edgecombe, who I think is going to take a massive step up. That starting five is going to be nasty. And they're I mean, it's not crazy to think that the Philadelphia 76ers are, as of right now, the favorites to win the NBA Finals. And it's not even just because of the fact that they got LeBron James. It's because you look at the pieces around them. They are built for this. If you look at Miami, where it was another landing spot where Mario Chalmers straight up told me that was where LeBron was going to go, look at their front court. The front court's incredible. They have Bam Adebayo. They have, you know, Giannis Antetokounmpo. But you look at the guard play, it's not great, right? So LeBron would have to kind of play a little bit out of position. Now, granted, LeBron can play any position that he wants. But that was when he was like 30, right? Now he's more limited. He's more of a facilitator, right? A really good passer, good with the ball on the ground. But again, you don't want LeBron James probably playing your 2 and 3 spot as a starter when you have no other secondary options there, especially at this age. I think LeBron James, this team is built, the 76ers team is built to have LeBron James on it. And I think that was sort of the thinking, you know, when they got Jaylen Brown, and they don't really have a true power forward right now. So I like the fit, man. I really do love the fit. I mean, the 76ers, it's going to be weird, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Philadelphia fan base treats him. Obviously, they're going to treat him very, very kindly, but the Philadelphia fans, I mean, for years and years and years, absolutely hated LeBron James. I mean, go back all the way to, you know, when Allen Iverson was playing. Like, LeBron was always in the East until he went to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, that was just one of those teams you had to, you know, they just absolutely had to hate LeBron James. Now, me personally, I wanted to see him play for the Golden State Warriors because I thought that would be awesome to have one of the greatest rivalries in all of maybe sports with Steph Curry and LeBron James, and then both of them in the twilight of their careers wind up playing together. And you saw it in the 2024 Olympics where you saw Steph Curry and LeBron James playing together, and you're like, man, it almost brought a tear to your eye how beautiful that was. And I really wanted to see that. I honestly didn't think he was going to leave California, but, you know, going to the Emerald City. What's the I don't know what the nickname for Philadelphia is. The City of Fountains, the City of Gold. What is it? Brotherly Love, the City of Brotherly Love. That's right, the City of Brotherly Love. I knew that. They said it on the jerseys. So you know what? Shout out to LeBron. Hey, we're doing sports stock market. I know I talked a little bit about LeBron, a little long-winded there. Again, it'll be. I'm gonna be tuning into 76ers games because I want to see greatness, and it's one of those things where, like, whenever Tom Brady was in the twilight of his careers, I would always turn on Bucs games because I knew that there was going to be a time where I wasn't going to be able to see Tom Brady play football again. So I'm going to be tuning in to the 76ers this year. Is he going to go on a Coach K retirement tour? Probably. Are they going to bring out rocking chairs and different fun gifts for LeBron James? Yeah, I'm sure they will. He signed a 2-year deal. I don't think he's going to play 2 years. I think he's going to play this last year, and this is going to be completely it for LeBron James. And hopefully he's able to stay healthy. Stock's down on foul balls because Joshua Kuroda-Grauer for the Sacramento Athletics had maybe one of the worst things to ever happen to you on a ball diamond. Was up the bat, fouled a ball, hit him in his family jewels. He's down on the ground for like a minute and a half, writhing in pain. You know, just the worst thing could ever happen. But credit to Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, pops back up and knocks it into the gap and gets a single. You go, oh, wow, good for him for shaking that one off. After the game, comes out, he had a ruptured testicle from this foul ball. I don't understand how that could be possible to have. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what all goes into having a ruptured testicle. I can't imagine it's fun. I can't imagine it's good. I can only imagine that if that happened to me, I would be laid up. You'd have to take me out of there in a gurney, okay? I'd be laid up for the next month and a half if I had a ruptured testicle. But Kuroda-Grauer pops back up and hits a single, man. I mean, shout out to him. I think he came out after that game or after that base hit. He might have even got a pinch runner. I'm not entirely sure. But man, I mean, that's just like that. Talk about a warrior, dude. Talk about a guy who's just shout out to him, man. Hey, stocks up on jail. Salvador Perez ties George Brett for the most home runs in Royals history. Knocks one in Kauffman Stadium into the fountains, and a man jumped into the fountains to go get this foul ball. Was it worth it? I would certainly say so, but the guy who jumped in the fountains got arrested and was taken to jail. Now, I do believe he still has that foul ball, so there's a little bit of bail money for you. That's worth it. That is absolutely worth it. I did see a picture on Twitter of like a picture of all the fountains completely drained, and there's a lot of like old electricity and like mechanics down there. And like the reason it's illegal to jump in there is because like if you mess something up, like you will get electrocuted and probably die. Not good. But at the same time, he jumps in, barely is in the fountain, grabs the ball, pops back up, immediately put in handcuffs and taken out of the stadium. Is he going to be banned for life from Kauffman? Maybe. But the fact that he got Salvi's record-tying home run ball, that makes it worth it, man. That absolutely makes it worth it. I mean, shout out to him. He's going to be able to sell that for quite a bit of money. Now, Salvador Perez did come out after the game and said, hey, please, please, please give me that ball back. If I'm that guy, absolutely not. I am selling that ball. Hey, Salvi, guess what? Pay up, buddy. You want the ball? Pay up. Okay? If I got that ball, I'm hanging on to it. I remember when Mark McGwire hit his home run ball to break, was it Hank Aaron's record or whatever that was? When Mark McGwire hit that ball, the fan who caught the ball was willing to give it back to Mark McGwire. He said, all I want to do is meet Mark McGwire and have him sign a bat. And Mark McGwire said no. So the guy said, you know what? Screw you, buddy. So he winds up selling it to Sotheby's for like $3 million. The guy made out like a bandit. Salvi's got money, or other Royals fans with money. They have money, so they can pay for that ball. Like I said, if I'm getting arrested and probably banned for life from Kauffman Stadium, I'm at least walking out of there with a couple $100,000. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So shout out to that guy. Hey, stock's down on the NCAA. So I saw this on ESPN. Apparently, the SEC is having some internal discussions about potentially leaving the NCAA. And part of the reason is this. They don't like the fact that every single time there's a rule change by the NCAA, people lawyer up, sue the NCAA, and the NCAA winds up losing. I get it. I hate it too. But now the NCAA is trying to put in this 5-year, 5-for-5 eligibility rule, and now you're having, some lawsuits being thrown together in regards of this. And, it's not looking good for the NCAA right now, which is very unfortunate because you need rules. You need rules put in place. I talked about this with Shreyas and Melvin Council. It's like you absolutely need these rules being put in place for the 5-5, for everything else. And the SEC is saying, hey, we're trying to put in our own rules, and the NCAA keeps on saying no, and anytime there is a rule change, the NCAA gets taken to court, and the NCAA winds up losing. So the SEC is like, we're going to take matters into our own hands. We might just leave the NCAA, put in our own rules, make them ironclad, and make it to where that it's impossible to sue us. So we'll see. We kind of knew this is the way that things were going. I mean, that's not... it's just you kind of expect this. I think the NCAA is not even going to be a thing. Like, if we're still doing the show in the year 2050, I'm willing to bet you money that Sean Kellerman and I are going to be having a conversation saying, man, you remember the NCAA? Man, you remember that? Because it's not going to be a thing anymore. The SEC is going to leave. The Big Ten is going to leave. Big 12 is going to want to get out too. There's going to be a new group that forms aside from the NCAA where they're going to be paying players rev share. They're not going to have this big overlord seeing things. I think each individual conference could potentially have their own thing. I don't know what it's going to look like in the future. I know it's going to be different than this. Also, stocks down on the NCAA because this is one of the just worst things I've ever seen. So Western Kentucky defensive lineman Victor Ivanka apparently lost his scholarship after missing workouts for his mother's funeral. Now, he entered the transfer portal because he lost his scholarship, no longer on Western Kentucky's team. By the way, horrible, terrible thing that Western Kentucky did. Western Kentucky completely screwed the pooch on this because they put it in as like failure to report, so they took away his scholarship. Now, because of the failure to report thing that they put in, multiple FBS teams can't sign Victor Ivanka because Western Kentucky processed his departure as a failure to report. And now Vaca is not able to play this season. Vaca put out a statement, and I'll kind of summarize this a little bit, but it says, my mom unexpectedly passed away April 2nd of 2026, flew home to California early that morning to the siblings and his family. He flew back to Bowling Green so he could meet with his professors and his coaches throughout the week. Met with my professors to discuss finishing the semester remotely. Just obviously wanting to be back in California. April 17th, he flew back to California to continue helping his family with everything surrounding his mother's passing. May 1st, he had a FaceTime call with the assistant strength coach. Talked about the spring, the workout plan while he was away, goals this summer, different things like that. He said he was going to be back May 25th. May 4th, his mother's life insurance was finally approved. May 7th, he completed his spring semester with a 3.3 GPA. On May 9th, they held his mother's funeral. May 25th, the team reported back for summer workouts. Position coach called and texted asking where he was. He explained that he believed he wasn't expected until June, and truthfully, he wasn't emotionally ready after everything that he had been through. May 26th, chief of staff called him, asked him when he wanted to return, asked if it'd be okay to return June 14th so he could attend his older brother's college graduation and his younger sister's promotion ceremony for moving into high school. May 27th, he called back and was informed that his athletic scholarship would not be renewed. He said, at no point did I refuse to return to Western Kentucky or tell anyone I was leaving the program. My understanding, based on my conversations with the coaching staff, is I was expected back in June and remain fully committed to returning and finishing my final season. So, I mean, obviously, when your mom passes away, it takes longer for things like this to happen. I've thankfully never had to deal with this, right? I can only imagine it would be the toughest time and probably in this young man's life. And they're calling him saying, hey, when are you coming back? It's like, hey, man, I'm not like emotionally ready. I still have a lot of stuff here to kind of wrap up different things with my mom and all these different things. I'll come back in June. And they say, actually, no, we're revoking your scholarship and we're going to put this in as a failure to report. And then I don't know, like they take a scholarship, they put it in as that, and then now no FBS team is able to sign him because of the way that Western Kentucky put this in, and the NCAA's rules state this, that he's not allowed to join any other teams. Like, that is so unbelievably messed up, and this is something that they need to absolutely make an exception for. Let him go somewhere else. The NCAA needs to step in and say, you know what, this rule is bad. We need to fix something about this and at least, give him an opportunity. So, yeah, I don't know. Really unfortunate stuff there. Stock's down twice on the NCAA. Stock's down on dad jokes. Eli Dorkowitz. I don't know if you saw this. I put this in. I think I put it in the case of Mondays, but I don't think I talked about it. He went on like a Sirius XM show and started spouting off jokes about Kansas. Said, "What's the best thing that comes out of the state of Kansas? I-70." Also said, "What do you call a good-looking girl in Kansas? A tourist." Also made a joke recently, a new one, on a different show, saying, when you're in Kansas, your dog can run away on Monday, and you can walk out on your porch on Wednesday and still see it running. He's ruined it. He's ruined dad jokes for me. And, I don't know where he gets off. He's the biggest dork, the biggest loser in all of college athletics. I'm not just saying that because he's Mizzou's head coach. He's a genuine dork and a genuine loser, and I hate him with my entire heart. You know the best thing to come out of Missouri is crystal meth. You want to make jokes? I can make jokes. I'll make plenty of jokes, buddy. I'll make some jokes that aren't FCC regulated. I'm not gonna. I guess we're not on the radio today. I'm not going to do it. Save face. You know what I mean? God, I really hope that Mizzou, they have a lot of question marks surrounding them, in terms of their running back situation and the quarterback situation, and a lot of guys, transfer portal, this and that. Eli Dorkowitz, you're a massive loser. And I hope that you come into Lawrence and we just kick your ass, okay? That's what's going to happen, and I hope that happens. And then when it does, I'll be smiling ear to ear. I'm going to be in the press box just so ecstatic. I'm probably going to get yelled at, and I'm probably going to get in trouble because I am going to be cheering so loud. You know what I might do? I might just go to that game as a fan. I might just sit in the stands so I can maybe drink a couple beers and just yell at you. Oh, what's a good-looking girl in Kansas? A tourist. What do you call a girl with all of her teeth in Missouri? A tourist. Huh? How about that? Whatever. Hey, that's stock market. That's sports stock market for today. After this, going to be doing a Chiefs opponent outlook. Going to be talking about the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker revenge game. That's coming up after this. Rock Chalk Sports on KansasNation.com.
Hey, Kansas fans. Coach Bill Self here, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
At the heart of a city lies the restless, the visionaries, the bold. From redefining events to guiding local youth, providing lifelines of industry, or reshaping wellness across the region, you deserve a financial partner that matches your ambition. At Meritrust, we handle the finances so you can take care of the bold. Meritrust Credit Union. Business, banking, bold.
Celebrate the summer with savings at Crown Toyota. BZ models, 0% APR with a $500 cash incentive. RAV4 models, 4.99% APR. 2026 Toyota Tacoma, 3.99% APR. Get into a 2026 Tundra for 2.99% APR.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the Class Ring Company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Jocelyn's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Jocelyn's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Jocelyn's Jewelry, for the best that's yet to come.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. Wrapping up the show here. Doing a little Chiefs opponent outlook. Going to be talking about the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be October 25th. Kind of a tough little stretch here. The start of, well, not the start, I guess, the middle of a tough stretch here for the Kansas City Chiefs because you look at the game beforehand, you're coming off a bye at home against the Chargers. Should be tough, but Andy Reid off of a bye is always really good. Then you have the Seahawks. You're in Seattle for that one, and then you have to travel from Seattle. Then you got to go to Denver and play the second game against the Broncos. So a tough little stretch here for the Chiefs. I'll kind of break down the Seahawks. Obviously, they do have Sam Darnold coming back, who, you know, wasn't the Super Bowl MVP. Actually, the Chiefs got the Super Bowl MVP in Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker no longer there, but they do have Zach Charbonnet. Going to be probably their number one guy. He's listed as out right now. I mean, obviously these things can change, quite a bit. It's July 24th right now, so he'll definitely be back by October 25th. Charbonnet last year, though, had a really nice season. You had kind of the 1-2 punch of Walker and Charbonnet. 184 carries last year, 730 yards. Did wind up with 12 touchdowns, while Kenneth Walker only had 5 touchdowns. So he led the team in terms of rushing touchdowns. So that was good on Zachary Charbonnet. Sam Darnold also, he was their third best rusher with 95 yards. I mean, they don't run the ball outside of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Now they only have Charbonnet because Kenneth Walker is now on the Kansas City Chiefs. Sam Darnold, like I said, their third leading rusher with 95 yards on the entire year. They do have some really nice receivers, though. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 1,793 yards last year, 10 touchdowns on 119 receptions. I mean, really impressive stuff. Cooper Kupp is getting up there in age, but he's still on the roster for this Seattle team, listed as one of their starters. He had 47 receptions for 593 yards last year, two touchdowns. A.J. Barner was a really nice tight end for them as of last year. He's really good as well. And then Rashid Shaheed, obviously we know Rashid Shaheed is a kind of a burner kind of guy, really good on the special teams side of things. But their defense is what really scares me. Their defense last year was the best in terms of points per game, led the entire NFL, top 5 virtually defense in terms of all everything, right? Their defense is just so freaking good every single year. Ernest Jones is great, right? Nick Emanwari, fantastic. Devin Witherspoon, one of the best corners in the entire NFL. Kobe Bryant was a really nice safety last year. Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams. I mean, the list goes on with a really stellar defense. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they bounce back and see if they're actually legit. We'll certainly see. And like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a tough stretch. It's going to be right in the middle of a tough stretch. It's going to be out in Seattle. So, again, Kenneth Walker revenge game. So I think it'll be okay. I think that the Chiefs will be all right in this one. I don't know if that's going to be a win or a loss or whatever that may be. I still don't know I'm still not bought in on Seahawks, man. I just don't know. I don't know if Sam Darnold is good or not. I know he won a Super Bowl. That's fine. Whatever. I just don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm not buying it. So anyway, that's my outlook on the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, be sure to stay tuned to KansasNation.com. We're going to be giving you play-by-play coverage of Jayhawks Hoops taking on Purple Rain tonight. Game 3, winner take all for the opportunity to go play the winner of the Aftershocks and Enchantment. So be sure to be on the lookout for that on all of our social media platforms, as well as kansasnation.com. For Tyler Brewer, Elijah Schmidt, running the operations behind, this is Daniel Court saying see you guys on Monday for Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, and kansasnation.com.
Hey, this is Sasha Khan, and you're watching kansasnation.com.
Hello, it's Mark Whitlow from Office Products Alliance. OPA is not just your local office products connection. We have expanded our offerings to network cabling installation, security cameras, door access, and IT services. We all need to keep pace with new technologies. You can trust a Kansas City company that has been your partner for 32 years. Check us out at opakc.com. Supporting local businesses and our community is more important than ever.
Get 0.9% APR or a $3,500 customer bonus on 2026 Atlas models. 2026 Atlas Cross Sport 3.9% APR or $3,500 customer bonus. 26 Tiguan models now 1.9% APR or a $2,500 customer bonus.
At the heart of a city lies the restless, the visionaries, the bold. You made the bet. You took the risk. You showed up when nobody else would. Now, success is within reach. The question is whether your finances can keep up with you. From redefining events to guiding local youth, providing lifelines of industry, or reshaping wellness across the region. You deserve a financial partner that matches your ambition. This is where Merit Trust comes in. Local people, real relationships. A team that sees your vision and says yes. Because bold business owners deserve bold financial partners. At Merit Trust, we handle the finances, so you can take care of the bold. Merit Trust Credit Union. Business, thinking,